So hello you guys and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Rachel, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't done so already. And for those of you that have been here and have been rocking with your girl, what's up? Welcome back. Today I am super excited about what we'll be crafting and creating, but before we get into that, I am doing a giveaway at 500 subscribers. And so all of that information will be down below on how you can enter to win a gift card. I'll be giving away a gift card to kind of support your own little craft habits and projects that you're working on and doing at your home. And so yeah, I'm super excited about that. And today we will be etching some glasses. So I bought some glasses from the Dollar Tree. Well, at this point, it's more like the $2, $3, $4, $5 tree. But I bought some glasses for us to etch, and I'm super excited about this project. So let's just hop straight into it. All right, you guys, for today's craft project, you are going to need your standard grip mat, whether you have the 12x12 or the 12x24 like me. I also have here some sizer transfer tape. I heard it was awesome, so we're gonna try it out today. And then I also have here some premium matte Oracle 651 vinyl. And so I'm excited to try this as well. As my first time using this vinyl. I also have here some rubber gloves because we will need those in order to, protect our hands from the chemicals from the Armour Etch. And then I also have here some 70% rubbing alcohol to clean our glasses. And then we have our main stars of the show today. And then I also have here my lovely Cricut Maker 3. And then I have a paintbrush to be able to obviously spread the Armour Etch. And then the third main star of the show is our Armour Etch. I also have here some cotton balls because we're going to use those to clean. And then this was just the extra piece of vinyl that I had, so I said why not, just in case. Now, first things first, in Cricut Design Space, you're going to want to create your design that you want to etch onto your glass. So for me, I had already kind of started a design, but I'm going to add another one for the beer glass. And so you'll see here for the wine glass, we're going to have bride. And so obviously for the beer glass, we're gonna have groom. I don't know if you guys knew, but I am getting married very soon in a couple months. So I figured why not? Plus I love everything wedding and bridal related. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. So if you see here, I've imported the Split Monogram Svg file that I had. Right now, I'm just getting rid of all of the extra letters of the alphabet that I do not need because I only need the G. Now, if you notice too, based on the type of font that this G is, whatever type of script font this is, it comes, which is kind of weird, with the holes kind of filled in. And so what I'm going to do here, I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to get rid of the filled in black holes of the script that you see. And so I'm gonna come to my layers panel, and on each layer, I'm just gonna delete it. And so boom. Now, the next thing that I'm getting ready to do is that I'm going to ungroup the Split Monogram so that I can have better access to controlling the top and the bottom pieces of the Split Monogram. Because when we go in to add our text, I want to make sure we'll have enough space. So in terms of fonts for the text that I'm using, I go to the search box and I type in script to pull up the different script fonts. And for today's project, the script font that I will be using is the Mahogany script. And this font came preloaded into Cricut, so everyone should have access to this font. And what I've done, I've just typed out the word groom, and now I'm gonna play with the top and bottom of the monogram to make sure I give myself enough space. I'm also gonna take the text of groom and actually spread it to make it look just a little bit better or more balanced within the split monogram. So that's what you see that I just did just now. And so the next thing I'm going to do is highlight my entire design here, and I'm going to weld it because this is super important so that our machine will know to make one cut. And so now we go to make it. So today we will be cutting on a mat. So select on mat, select done. And I'm just rearranging everything on the mat. But then I realized this is a 12 by 12 and not a 12 by 24. So I'm changing the size of my mat, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing. And now, unfortunately, this was the next day after doing the project because my original screen recording didn't save. So I will leave in the description box the details from the printing page. And so now what we're going to do is we're just going to place our vinyl onto our mat to prepare it to cut. And I'll mention here too, I believe the settings that I used, I went in and I selected premium vinyl matte, and that was the selection that I used to, you know, let Cricut know the type of product I was using. And so now it's going to do its thing. It's measuring the mat because this was the first time I used the machine today. And now it's going to cut. All right, you guys, so we are almost done cutting. So once it finished, I went ahead and peeled my vinyl away from my mat. I know some people do it the opposite, but I just kind of do it this way. And now what we're getting ready to do is begin the weeding process. So I'm just re-putting the cover on my mat and setting that aside. And to make things a little bit easier on me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and actually cut the vinyl around the lettering. This just makes it easier to weed for me. And I know you guys are probably like, is this the same girl? So in real life, you guys, I wear glasses. I know at the beginning and end of my videos, and even on my first video, if you haven't seen that yet, I'm not wearing my glasses, but I wear glasses in real life. So as you can see here, I'm just weeding out all of the lettering. So we're doing a reverse weed because essentially this is going to turn into our stencil. And so what I mean by reverse weed is that instead of keeping the lettering and transferring that, you're taking all of the lettering away and transferring the entire piece of vinyl that you have cut, if that makes sense. And I'm doing the same thing for Bride, for the wine glass. And you want to make sure that you're definitely getting rid of the little bitty pieces because you don't want to leave anything and then it doesn't get etched and then it looks a little weird on the glass. You want to make sure that it is thoroughly weeded and you know, it's going to make a great stencil. So now what I'm going to do is take this transfer tape, which, might I add, the people were correct. This sizer transfer tape is amazing, literally. So I'm just transferring what is now going to be our stencil onto the transfer tape, and I'm taking my extra large scraper tool and just making sure that it is laying flat on the transfer tape. And now we will need to peel away the backing of the vinyl sheet. So I just brought it closer to my face so I could see it. And it was a little tricky, but I used my weeding tool and it helped. And so now I'm peeling the backing off of the vinyl. And this is what is going to transfer onto our beer glass. And that was the perfect size for the glass. First though, before we transfer, we need to wipe our glass off. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of this rubbing alcohol on a cotton ball. And yes, I was strategic with how many. So on the first cotton ball, you're going to get it damp with some rubbing alcohol and you're going to wipe your entire glass. You want your glass and your whole surface to be oil-free, dust-free, and extremely clean. And then I'm going to take the second cotton ball and dry it off. And then for extra measures, as if that wasn't enough, I'm going to take a piece of paper towel and also dry it off as well. And this will also help with, you know, how your etching design will come out. It'll give us the best results. And so now we're ready to attach our stencil. And so I'm just eyeballing it. I typically do this with all of my glasses and they usually come out really fine, unless I do need to take measure and make note. But for this, I believe I was fine. And we're just going to make sure it's smooth onto the glass very well. So one thing I want to note, even after doing this, I'm going to end up peeling the transfer tape away. And I'm going to go back through and look for any air bubbles, any rippling along the edges of the design, anything, because all of that can affect how clean your lines will look when you add the etching cream to the glass. So what I like to do is feel around, look, see if I see anything lifting or rippling, and immediately go in and use my scraper tool to make it back extremely flat. And feel free to take your time doing this. This is me doing it in real time, not sped up. I'm making sure every portion of the design is flat on the glass. And I went ahead and did the bride glass off camera. So now what I'm getting ready to do is I'm going to put on my gloves and prepare for etching. Now, I will say the Armour Etch does have a smell, and I believe you are supposed to wear a mask. I didn't, because the smell doesn't really bother me that bad. But basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paintbrush, dip it in the Armour Etch, and literally, I am going to dab it onto the stencil. So I'm not exactly painting like a picture, I'm just dabbing it, almost like tapping, as if you're tapping makeup on your face. That's what I'm doing to the glass. And with Armour Etch, you want to be sure that you're getting an even coat. So for me, that helps me know if I have an even coat and to get it thick enough. A lot of times people have etched glasses, but they don't have the etching cream on thick enough to get that really crystal clear etch type of result. And so what I like to do is make sure I'm putting it on thick, I'm putting it on evenly, and I'm covering every nook and cranny on this piece of stencil, vinyl stencil. Now, what I will say too, you all couldn't see it, but I could, obviously, as I was doing it. There's a very small hairline kind of crack in the vinyl stencil on the side at the bottom. I made sure not to cover that because if you do have holes in your vinyl, if etching cream gets on it, it will etch onto the glass. So just be mindful of that. And also, if you etch outside of the vinyl, it will still etch onto the glass. So just be careful with where you're putting the etching cream and making sure that on your stencil that it is thick, that it is an even coat, and you have everything covered. And even going around the edges, you want to make sure you're being careful. Now, what I also like to do is kind of eyeball it, turn the glass back and forth, making sure that it's pretty even all the way around, all the way across. And I'm just bringing it closer to you guys so you guys can get a look and feel of the amount that I put on. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing to the wine glass for Bride. And now that we're all finished, we are going to let this sit for 20 minutes. I sped the clip up, and so now we're actually getting ready to rinse the glasses off. But you need to let them sit for 20 minutes in order to get the best etch result. And then once it's been 20 minutes, I go ahead and rinse it with lukewarm water. I don't know if that really makes a difference. That's just what I do. And I make sure to get all of the etching cream off. Now, I then come over and dry it off with a paper towel. And the next thing we have to do is kind of weed again, so to speak. We have to get all of the vinyl off of the glasses. And sometimes the vinyl sticks so well that I do have to go back in with my weeding tool to make sure I get the little pieces off. And that is the final result. And I know it's a little hard to see, so definitely refer to the thumbnail to see the true final results. But it came out extremely well and super cool. So I definitely challenge you guys to get into etching because it's super doable, and I really enjoyed doing it and having fun doing this for you guys. So I'm just finishing this up. And that's it, you guys. So that is the beer glass. And I think it turned out really nice. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. All right, you guys, so that concludes the end of today's video. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and comment down below some things that you've etched. If you've done glasses, if you've done Tupperware bowls, or even cooking dishes, whatever you've done. I want to know, because you never know what can inspire me for next time. So with that being said, I cannot wait to see you guys until my next video. Bye.